Okay, children. So, what have we learned in the previous classes? That if we have to find sum of like fractions, as in we have to add two or three or more like fractions, what we do, the denominator remains the same and the numerators are sum of all the numerators. All right. Similarly, if we have to subtract like fractions, what are like fractions? Like fractions are the fractions having the same denominators. All right. If we have to find difference of them, if we have to subtract them, what we are going to do? We are going to subtract the numerators, the denominator remains common. All right. Now we have to remember, if you have to add or subtract unlike fractions, as in the fractions where denominators are not same, the first thing is we will have to convert them into like fractions. And children, how do we convert unlike fractions into like fractions? We have already discussed about that in great details. We have studied that for converting unlike fractions to like fractions, we first find the LCM, all right? And after finding the LCM, we convert all the denominators into same. I hope this is clear to you all. Children, there is one common mistake which most of the children do, which I don't want you to repeat. And that thing is that many children do this way. That is, if they have to add unlike fractions, what they do, they add the numerators and they add the denominators. This is absolutely incorrect. This is not the right way to do. If you have to add 2 by 5 plus 3 by 4, you will have to first find out the LCM of 5 and 4, which is 20, convert them into like fractions and then add it. Is that clear, children? Now, today we are going to start with multiplication of fractions. Children, unlike addition and subtraction, multiplication is not that complicated. The reason behind this is that what we have to do in multiplication of fractions, we have to simply multiply numerator by numerator, denominator by denominator. We don't have to take into account that whether the given fractions are like fractions or unlike fractions. The simple thing is we multiply the numerators and we multiply the denominators. Remember, children, in addition and subtraction, we used to make common denominators. Here there is no need of making common denominators. Product or multiplication of two fractions or more fractions, even if we have to multiply 3, 4 or any number of fractions, we'll multiply all the numerators, write it in the numerator. We'll multiply all the denominators, write it in the denominator. Okay. For example, if I am having fractions a by b multiplied by c by d, we are going to multiply a and c and we are going to multiply b and d. Is this clear, children? What we are going to do? We are going to multiply the numerators. When I multiply both the numerators, it becomes a multiplied by c. This is our new numerator. And we'll multiply the denominators. It would be b multiplied by d, which is our new denominator. Is this clear to you? Now, suppose if you have to find the product multiply, they could ask you in any way, all right? So if they ask you find the product 3 by 5 multiplied by 7 by 11, what we are going to do, see the first fraction, I'm not going to take into picture whether they are proper, improper. I would not see whether they are like, unlike. It's none of my business while calculating the multiplications. Had it been an addition or subtraction question, I would have thought of converting them into like fractions. But here, since it is multiplication involved, we will not think about it. We'll simply write by the rule of fractions of multiplication of fractions. Product of fraction is product of numerators by product of denominators. Okay. What are the numerators? 3 and 7. What are the denominators? 5 and 11. Now children, 3 multiplied by 7 is 21. 5 multiplied by 11 is 55. Children, we all can see this can't be cancelled out further. 21 and 55 do not cancel out to each other. We can't divide them. And moreover, it is a proper fraction, as in here the numerator is less than the denominator. Okay. So when the numerator is less than the denominator, it's a proper fraction. We need not convert them into mixed fractions. Okay. Next, we have to multiply 4 by 9 multiplied by 15 by 16. Children, see here there are two fractions. We'll multiply the numerators together. We'll multiply the denominators together. All right. So what are we going to do? We are going to write by the rule of multiplication. Product of fraction is equals to product of numerators divided by product of denominators. Okay. What are the numerators? Numerators are 4 and 15. The denominators are 9 and 16. When we multiply 4 by 15, we get 60. When we multiply 9 by 16, we get 144. Okay. And if we, these both are divisible by 12. So if we divide it, we get 5 by 12. But children, the thing is, this process is actually not that easy. Many children do mistakes while calculating this. Let me teach you a very simple method. The very simple method is you write the two fractions like this. What I have written, 4 by 9 multiplied by 15 by 16. Now children, we all know the basic tables, right? We all know that which number gets in table of which other number, all right? Here we will use the technique of cancelling out. I have seen children struggle with the technique of cancelling out, but trust me, once you learn how to cancel out things, the problem becomes really very simple. Mathematics, multiplication, division, all the calculations will become extremely simple if you understand how to cancel out. To make these things simple for you, children, can you see? Just remember the simple thing. If there is a number in numerator, it can cancel out with a number in denominator only. Don't try to cancel out if both the numbers are in numerators or both of them are in denominators. Let's see in this. We have 4 by 9 multiplied by 15 by 16, right? Now, 4 and 16 are divisible by each other. Can you see that? In 4's table, 4 comes 1 times and 16 comes 4 times. So we'll cancel 16 and 4. We'll write 1 times and 4 times. Isn't that simple? Once again, we see 15 in the numerator, 9 in the denominator. Now children, in table of 9, 15 doesn't come. But I can clearly see here that 15 and 9, they both are divisible by 3. Obviously, in 3's table, 9 comes 3 times, 15 comes 5 times. So we are going to cancel them both and write 5 and 3. Is this clear to you? Now children, you can see what is there in the numerator. In the numerator, we have 1 and 5. 1 multiplied by 5 gives us 5. And in the denominator, we have 3 and 4. 3 multiplied by 4 gives us 12. If you see your children, instead of multiplying 4 by 15, then 9 by 16, and then seeing by which number they go, instead of doing this, if you do a bit more practicing in cancellation part, your questions are going to become extremely simple. All right. Next we have multiplication of fractions. Let's take more examples. For example, you have 2 by 5 multiplied by 15. Here, the first number is a fraction and the second number is a whole number. Now, children, we all know that whole numbers can also be written as fractions with the denominator 1. So here we will write by the rule of multiplication of fractions. Product of fractions is product of numerator divided by product of denominators. Okay. So if we multiply the numerators, it would be 2 multiplied by 15. If we multiply the denominators, it would be 5 multiplied by 1. Why 1? Because there was nothing in denominator of 15, so it would be 1. Okay. Now children, 2 multiplied by 15 is 30. 30 divided by 5 is 5. All right. Sorry, 30, 5 multiplied by 1 is 5. And if we divide 30 by 5, we get 6. Children, here the calculations were easy, but still I don't prefer doing this. I would write two fractions like this, 2 by 5 multiplied by 15 by 1. Here I see that 5 and 15, they both go in the table of 5, of course. Okay. So children, you can see that in 5's table, 5 comes 1 times And in 15, 5 stable, 15 comes 3 times. Here what we get, 2 multiplied by 3 in the numerator, which is 6, and 1 multiplied by 1 in the denominator, which is 1. So the answer is 6. All right. Let's take a few more examples to understand how these things work. I know the cancellation might sound a bit difficult to you, but trust me, the more you practice, the more easy it's going to become for you all. All right. Now, if you have 5 by 8 multiplied by 1000, here again the first number is a fraction and the second number is a whole number. 1000 can be written as a fraction by 1000 by 1. All right. So we'll write solution by the rule of multiplication of fractions. What do we have? We have product of fractions is product of numerator by product of denominator. All right. Then we will have the numerators are 5 and 1000. So it would become 5 multiplied by 1000 divided by 8 multiplied by 1. Alright, 5 multiplied by 1000 gives us 5000. 8 multiplied by 1 gives us 8. But now 5000 by 8, doing this 625. If you're fine with it, do it. But if you ask me personally, which is the method you like, I like this method because this is extremely easy. What will I do? I'll write two fractions, 5 by 8 and 1000 by 1. I'll write a multiplication sign in between of them, all right? And what would I do? I would see, will I cancel 5 with 1000? No. You'll say, ma'am, 1000 comes in the table of 5, but we can't do that, children. Why? Because they both are in the numerators. To cancel out, there is one thing which is extremely important, which is very pivotal, which needs to be understood, that one number has to be in numerator, another one that has to be in denominator, then and only then we can cancel out. So although 5 and 1000 they can be cancelled out, we can't because they both are in numerators. One has to be in numerator, another one has to be in denominator. Children, if we see that in 8's table 1000 does come how many times? In 8's table 1 time. In 1000's table 1 times 8, 2 remains, but becomes 20. 2 times 16, 4 remains 40. That is 5 times 40. All right. So what will we have? 5 multiplied by 1000. All right, children. Okay. So next we have 3 by 5 multiplied by 1 by 3. Children, we can see that 3 and 3 cancels out. We are left with only 1 by 5. Suppose we have 2 by 5 multiplied by 5 by 10. 5 and 5 get cancelled with each other. In 2's table, 2 comes 1 times and 10 comes 5 times. So we are left with what? We are left with 1 by 5. Similarly, if we have another question, 2 by 5 multiplied by 9 by 10. Don't think we can cancel out 5 and 10 because we can't. They both are in denominators. We can only cancel out one in numerator and one in denominator. So 2 stable 1 time and 10 comes 5 times. So we would be left with 9 by 25. No other number cancels out with another one. Alright. Suppose I am having 2 by 4 multiplied by 2 by 3. Children, I am again and again asking you, please don't cancel 2 and 2 because they both are in numerators. We can't do that. What can we do? And you can see the blue stripes first. That 2 stable 1 time and 4 comes 2 times. Okay. Then we are going to use the yellow stripes. As you can see, 2 and 2 get cancelled out. We are left with the numerator 1 multiplied by 1, which is 1. And in the denominator 1 multiplied by 3, which is 3. Alright. Let's have a few more questions. Suppose I have 4 by 5 multiplied by 7 by 10. Again, I can't cancel out 5 and 10 because they both are in denominators. Now, children, 7 and 5 can't be cancelled out. They both are prime numbers. 4 and 10, they both are divisible by 2. So, we'll write in 2's table, 4 comes 2 times, 10 comes 5 times. So we are left with 2 multiplied by 7, 14, 5 multiplied by 5, 25. Children, always remember whenever we have to convert, we have to write the answers, we have to make sure the answers is a proper fraction. And if the answer comes as an improper fraction, the very important thing is we'll have to convert them into mixed fraction, because if we don't convert them into mixed fractions, our marks would be deducted. We always have to write the answers in a standard form, and the standard form is, if there is a improper fraction, you convert it into mixed fraction. Here we have 2 by 3 multiplied by 4 by 5. We can see 2 doesn't cancel out with 3 or 5. 4 doesn't cancel out with 3 and 5. So we can't cancel out basically anything. To the ones having a doubt that, ma'am, cancel out 2 and 4. No, you can't, because they both are on the same side. They are on the numerators. So what we'll do, we'll simply write the answer as product of numerators, that is 2 multiplied by 4, which is 8. And the denominator would be product of denominators. 3 multiplied by 5 gives us 15. Okay. Children, suppose if you get a mixed fraction multiplied by 12. Okay. Now 12 is a whole number, but we can write 12 as a fraction. How? We can write 12 as 12 by 1. So the most important thing is we will have to convert the mixed fraction into an improper fraction first. How do we do it? Remember children, if we have a, b by c, we multiply c by a, add a to it, and the denominator remains same. Okay. So what would be this? 2 4 by 15 can be written as 15 multiplied by 2, 30. 30 plus 4, 34. It would be 34 by 15 multiplied by 12 by 1. We'll multiply the numerators and the denominators. Instead of doing this, I will switch to here. Okay. What will I see? I'll see that 15 and 12, they both come in the table of 3. 15 comes 3 times, 5 times, whereas 12 comes 4 times. Okay. 15 and 12 are both divisible by 3. So we can write 15 comes in the table of 3 5 times. 12 comes in the table of 3 4 times. And now if I write 34 multiplied by 4 gives me 136. 5 multiplied by 1 gives me 5. Now children, pay attention. Here it is an improper fraction. The numerator is greater than the denominator. Whenever we have something like this, that the numerator is greater than the denominator, we convert them into mixed fractions. Children, in previous classes, we have done lots of practice how to convert improper to mixed, how to convert mixed fractions to improper fractions. I hope you are clear with all these concepts. Okay. In 5's table, 27 times it is 135. 1 is the remainder. We basically do the division and write in the form of QR by D. Children, I could see you people raising hands. I would want you to wait for a while. Within a few minutes, I will be unmuting you one by one so you can clarify your doubts with me. Suppose again I have a mixed fraction over here. We have 3 1 by 8. Children, how do we convert 3 1 by 8 into an improper fraction? We'll multiply 8 by 3. 8 multiplied by 3 will give me 24. We'll add 1 to it, we'll get 25. So the first fraction will become 25 by 8. The second one could be written as 16 by 1. Either you do it this way, multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, or write it this way like I have written in the red thing. 25 by 8 multiplied by 16 by 1. Children, it's very clear. 8 and 16, they both can be cancelled out by 8, 1 times and 2 times. 25 multiplied by 2 gives us 50. Okay. Don't you think that when you cancel out things, the things become extremely easy for us? Let's take one more example. Children, here both the fractions are mixed fractions, nothing to worry about. We have already done a lots of practice how to convert a mixed fraction into an improper fraction. Children, don't get confused. When we find the answer, we don't leave the answer in improper fractions, we convert them into mixed fractions. But when it is in the question, we'll have to first convert mixed into improper, otherwise we won't be able to solve. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll write it this way, that 7 multiplied by 3 gives us 21. 21 plus 6 gives us 27. So it would be 27 by 7. Similarly, 3 multiplied by 4 gives us 12. 12 plus 2 is 14. 14 by 3. Okay, this would be, how would I do? 27 by 7 and 14 by 3. Children, in 7's table 1 times, 14 goes 2 times, and in 3's table 27 comes 9 times. So here we have in the numerators 9 multiplied by 2, 18, and 1 multiplied by 1, 1. So we are left with 18 by 1, which is nothing but 1. I hope this is clear to you all. Okay, now